Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. It's Friday, so it's PowerPoint presentation day. This is what I used to put up at the yoga circle for my literary presentations. Yoga and art. Yoga speaks to what's deep in us, deepest in us, and so does art. Yoga is not just a philosophy, science, lifestyle, practice. It's an art form. Beautiful asana is wonderful to see. All right, so let's move this on. Less than 10 minutes of your time. All right, James Hillman, great quote. Mythology was the psychology of antiquity, and psychology is the mythology of modernity. Mythology was the psychology of antiquity, an artful arrangement of lies that tells the truth, completely false on the outside, completely true on the inside. Figure that out. While psychology is the mythology of modernity, the whole idea of pursuing the unconscious, the subconscious. Most of us were barely conscious. All right. So Joseph Campbell says personal art is slop if it doesn't talk to what's deep in us. So that triangle of art, myth, and psychology is fundamental. And the muses in the Greek tradition that dealt with history, epic poetry, astronomy, dance, comedy, hymns, tragedy, love poetry, music, song, lyric poetry, the nemesis, the memory of all this. That's who we are. Now, James Joyce, one of the great writers in the early 1900s, he talked about the difference between understanding what's proper art, which is kinetic, no, static, doesn't create desire, loathing, or fear. It's not didactic, it doesn't repel, as I'll show you in a moment. So he would say that the keys to art are first integritas. It's a wholeness. You put a frame around a picture or an object, and what's within the frame is to be regarded as one thing. It's not a collection. It's hermetically sealed off. It doesn't have any reference to anything outside of its own field. The second thing is consonantia. It's harmony. There's an essence within this frame. It ties together a kind of rhythmic arrangement, a perfect relationship of proportion of one part to the part, another part, one part to the whole, and the whole to every other part. And when it's favorably achieved, then you get radiance, fascination, what he calls the aesthetic arrest, the aha experience. You're held by it. It's pure object and pure subject. And so he calls this an epiphany, a sudden spiritual manifestation, whether in vulgarity of speech or gesture or in a memorable phrase of mind itself. And epiphany is the art that can transport you into the ecstatic experience, as here shown by Ramakrishna, one of the saints in the 1800s, used to go into samadhi instantly. Great definition of samadhi: silent, luminous stasis. Can't beat that. Anyway, what he calls pornographic art is art that creates desire. Oh boy, I want to be on the slopes of St. Moritz, right? Not the way to use art correctly. Creates desire. And the other one is the didactic art, social moralism. Oh, your brain on drugs, right? Try to show you, their view, mostly propaganda. That's not art either. Poor use of art. But when you understand that you are an eye of the universe beholding the things of the universe, then the mystery of that thing is the same as the mystery of the universe, which is you. And if you get that, like you said, why is art a sacred thing? It highlights daily aspects. It takes you beyond time and space. So Cézanne's apples will do just as well, no? Anyway, art is comic and tragic. It doesn't say no to anything in life. So contemplate it. Or is it inviting you to go in there and do something about it? Howard Zinn's quote, "I've come to believe that our lives can be turned into a different direction. Our minds adopt a different way of thinking by some significant or small event. That belief can be frightening or exhilarating, depending on whether you just contemplate it or want to do something with it." Like I say, I get up every day. I don't know, should I savor life and just enjoy it, or try to save life and do something about the inequities that are all about us? Unless all of us had a face like the Buddha, find your immovable spot. Don't be moved by desire, fear, or social obligation. That's the only way you can go beyond the regret that happens when you don't fulfill your life path, your life passion. Nonetheless, in order to find your own center, you got to hold the world off for a while. Enter your own hermetic retort to become one thing. They say the angels are always with us, surrounding us with love and peace. Everything in life has a meaning, a purpose, and a path. Find your center and be grounded. Clean your mind and let good energy flow through you. Of course, that's what people say after doing drugs in the desert. That doesn't invalidate it, though. Now, everybody has a primary mask that society puts on, tells you this is the face you should wear. But eventually, you have to put on the antithetical face and say, I'm not walking to that path. Homie, don't play that. Awakening to the life that should be yours. And the tension between the two. What did they put on you? And what's your own face that you're gonna develop? So you got to diet to the infantile ego and its demand, right? Its obedience. You submit to their authority, right? The ego expects protection when you're a baby, but you got to awake to self-responsibility, to your own and to society's responsibility. So, Uptown Funk gonna funk you up. Uptown Funk gonna funk you up. Yeah. What's the social impact of art on culture? And how do you increase that impact? Well, first make your life an art form, and then you'll find out the reason to that. And ultimately, the idea is to use all of these art forms and whatever form of yoga you practice to feel freedom, moksha, liberation, released while being alive. I hope you find a guru that can pass it on to you so that the inner child that's still awake will wonder and sees the miracle of life, will take the intuitive teaching that the ancestors have passed on. Remember, the ancient ones aren't the ones in the past. The ancient ones are the ones that are beyond time. I hope you find that all. Next week is the Good Vibrations class called Chicken Soup for the Yoga Soul. I hope you can join us. Go to GabrielHalpern.com and sign up for that. Otherwise, let me know how I'm doing. Love to hear from you.